I'm hoping I can get everybody on here now. That I know that my other live was doing something. See, when you up here speaking about truth, this is what happens. Every time I'm about to do a real God led live, that's when this happens. But anyways, I hope that I can get everyone back that was on the other live. Okay. See, I don't know why this happens, but this happens every time I'm about to do a certain live. It happens every time. And my computer, I've been using just about all day. So it's definitely something or someone don't want me getting this message out. It's always this, and the same thing happened when I'm about to do a live on something else that God literally led me to do, even though it was through a couple things. But yes, but it's okay because God got this, right? So here we go. Today I will be speaking on a subject that, oh yeah, that's a big part of it too. So maybe it's technology, maybe some other things going on. But today I really want to be just really go deep on spirituality. I I think I would I'm not I'm saying I was in past tense due to how I see my spiritual life now, but I still am a Christ believer. So when I say I was a Christ believer, just accept it for what it is, okay? I still am a Christ believer, but it's not in the traditional sense. Okay? So I grew up Christian. That was my that's what I grew up on. I was taught this, I was fed this, etc. For about 18 on I think 18, I don't know, just about into my 20s. And I think that a lot happened in between from from 5 to in my 20s. Well, 8 into my 20s, that's what I'm trying to say. It was a lot of transformation. When I actually went through my divorce, it propelled me to go to this whole nother place within myself that I have never even questioned. You know, you become more into yourself, and it's like I had to unlearn everything I was taught. So everything I thought that I knew, I really didn't know. And the Jesus that I was taught, and that's being taught now, he don't exist. It's another Jesus. It's like a religious Jesus being taught, but the real Jesus or the Jesus energy is different than what's really been taught. That's what I mean. So when I went through this transformation, I began just digging deeper. I did and you know how you do the ancestral. You it's something when you look up your ancestors, your roots. I did that, and I found out that I was from Nigeria. I have history in Nigeria in Congo, and it's another place in Africa. I don't know which tribes yet, but I've definitely been doing my research since. But I began to just do more research about my African roots and who I am and things like that. And when you begin to do research and when you really begin to search within, you find that the outer constructs of life, it doesn't make sense to you. You begin to question everything. So I went through this process of all of this, and it's really good to see you, Sunbreeze. I'm so glad you got the notification. So when I was going through this process of just really diving deep, I began this rereading the Bible again. And I even began looking at ancient Kemet. I began looking at this other spiritual aspect, Buddhism, Hinduism. I just really began to find that I'm like, I like this. I like Taoism. I like Taoism. I like this, you know, and I began to give myself permission to go into those avenues. And my ex-husband introduced them to me in a way because he was in the military, and he still is, but he was around different backgrounds, and he really wasn't one that went to church every Sunday, and, or went on a Bible study. So we actually went to different temples and things like that. So I have found that certain teachings have certain basics. But one thing I found in my journey that I'm still on is that every background, every religion, or every belief system, they have a God. They have someone who's supreme. They have a devil. That's the dark counterpart of, it's like the polar opposite of God. And oh yes, most definitely, most definitely. And the Bible is really a great spiritual tool. Oh yes. And it's just been so many other things. But okay, it's God, the devil. They have some type of angel. They have some type of demi devil, which is a demon. Every religion or every spiritual belief system, they have this in common. And I started reading. I'm like, okay, so they have this. This sounds like this. This sounds like this. So one of the things that I've learned is that every spiritual background, it's some level of truth. Now, truth may look different for you, but as I grew into my spirituality, I really began to get in touch with my ancestors. And when I began to look into my ancestry and and when I say look, I didn't ask any family members that was alive. It really was through meditation. And I know this seemed kind of crazy and cuckoo, but I began meditating more and deeper. And I've always gotten like these really vivid visions, and things will always, like, whatever that vision was, it would always happen. But I've always had a certain gift, deja vu. I'm like, I've been here before, I met you before, or or if I imagine or I can have a vision sometimes days in a row, and with me doing this, or me being in this place, or me meeting this person, I always met that person. Even if it was like a year later, even if it was like months later, even if it was days later, I will always remember. My mind will always go back to the moment that I first received that vision or those visions. I have always known that it's a gift there. I've always known that it's a gift to see inside of people, see people's, inner child, to see people who they're for the real, to feel, to feel people for who they really are. I can see them for who they really are. I don't have to try to figure it out. I just know. I'm like, this is who you really are. This is not who you really are. This is your mask. It's like I can point out these different things. So with always having this certain gift, I didn't know what it meant because it was never nurtured. So I began reparenting these gifts and began using these gifts and not neglecting them. I don't know what's going on with my words today. God lead me. But it's a certain gifts that wasn't nurtured, or I've said, oh, I see this spirit, or I see this, or this, and literally I've always seen, someone who was not alive. I remember this experience. Go with me for a moment. It was my neighbor, and she was going through a lot, and she was out to not going too much into her situation. Her name was Wendy. She was a really thick, pretty girl, but she was a white girl. You know what I mean? She was really thick for a white girl. And so what we stayed on post, it was mainly, mixed races and all that, but she liked Black men. So we used to speak on it and things like that, and she struggled with that, but she ended up getting a boyfriend, ended up getting pregnant. He ended up leaving and whatever. And she ended up going through a great sadness because she was pregnant and all this, and he decided to not be cool. And he was cool with, and the crazy thing is, this man was cool with my ex-husband because they were sharing grilling tips and all that, and we were invited over to her spot, and she became friends with me, like really good friends. Long story short, broke up, and she ended up having to go through a lot of things before, and she already had situations where she already had children, but it wasn't hers, but it was a whole situation. I'm trying to say this so you can get what I'm saying, like her sadness. So she ended up going through a deep sadness. As she was going through this deep sadness, I went to the commissary. The commissary is like the grocery store on base. So went there, and I heard this. What's crazy is I heard someone tell me, "Hey, buy those yellow flowers." And I first, for a second, I thought I was going crazy. And right, hold on. And right, and I'm going to address everything that's been said, but I need to get this story so you can get, me being able to see, the unseen. So I was in the store. I heard the voice, like, and it sounded like a older white lady or something. Like, I don't see anybody around me that's old and white right now and that's talking to me. This is crazy, but I'm gonna get these yellow flowers and these yellow roses. It was yellow roses. And then I went to the house, was unpacking and about to cook, and the same voice came to me and said, "Give her some of these and put it at the door." Like, put it like in front of her door. I'm looking like, okay. So I did it. I was obedient to whatever it said. Whatever it like literally like an older white lady. Sounded like she had to be in her 60s or something. Okay, so I did that. Just stay with me. And I can say maybe the next day, she was like beating on my door. And she's like, "How did you know? How did you know?" And I was like, "How do I know what?" And I was just like, "What?" I bought some roses for myself, and I thought you may want some. Y'all, don't be freaked out. But anyway, she's like, "My grandmother died. Anytime I was sad, she would give me some yellow roses." Y'all feel it? I feel it. Anyways, that's the ironic part about it. And that was one of the first experiences I've had where a dead person has audibly spoken to me and given me, things to do. It's nothing real evil, but it's always like little kind gestures or to say this or just kind reminders when people were sad. It was always like that. It was nothing demonic or anything, but it was always something of that nature. And I've always seen ghosts. I've always seen spirits. I've always seen figures, and I still do. It's like I live with them. I'm like, okay. It's like it's like I hear them audibly at times or I see them. So I'm just speaking about a gift, whatever this gift is, clairvoyance, whatever it may be. All I'm saying is it's a gift. And that was like that's the first time I actually remember. This was before even going on my spiritual journey. I was still happily married then. And hey, everybody. Hey, how you doing, Urban? So, anyways, like it's a lot of spiritual gifts that's within me that I didn't really embrace until I actually began to embrace my true self. And a big part of spirit warfare, we have to acknowledge first that we are spirit and our spiritual journey. So we first have to acknowledge our spiritual journey because we are spirit. We are a spirit. We are spirits. We have souls. So to first speak on spiritual warfare, I have to break down what it is. And if you're on your spiritual journey, because it's so many things to draw from. But I can say my deeply rooted conviction is in Jesus. I really do love Jesus. I love God. And I understand the stories, and I get what they represent. I get that they really are stories. It's just like a story you read in the book. They really are stories. And for some people, they are really events. For some people, they're not. For me personally, I haven't been in those stories physically. Wasn't physically there when the stories were going on, but I do resonate with the stories within the Bible. And oh yeah, that's so true. Our emotions are spirits, right? And one of the things that I've learned about the Bible thus far is that it's very much real. It's like a book of written spells. It's things that we can speak to ourselves. It's like a book of affirmations. And these stories that's inside of the Bible, they're very much real. They're very much real. And the actual historic events though, some of them are true, some of them are not. Now I could go into that and we can be on here for hours talking about it, because trust me, it's true. And you're right. And that's a whole nother level right there, because we are getting, I'm going into it, outside of a book, outside of an external construct of what and who God is. We ourselves are the very images of God. We ourselves, we are made in the image of God. When we look at ourselves, we see God. And so God literally gave us the ability within us to create things. So we can create emotions. We can create our emotions itself, can create illusions and all these different things that Sunbreeze is talking about. And so that's like the fact that emotions, because I'm trying to go back to it, but it went off the screen. But emotions really, emotions itself, it's like spells. You know what I mean? Emotions, I can go deep. You only go deep. I can go deep into the different types of bodies that we have. But that's another live video, because I know me, and I can get deep with it. But when it comes down to spirituality, I think spirituality is what it may mean to you, and where you may be on your spiritual journey. I call myself spiritual. I think some people may not like to go to a physical temple, but I find that it's very comforting to share with those people that share those same beliefs that I do, even though it's not in the same way. And these people know this, and I'm very honest about where I am. They've been knowing me a great deal of my life, so I'm very honest with myself and with them, and I'm very transparent with where I'm at, where I am on my journey. However, I think some people, they look at the spirit of a person and not the actual outside. And that's why I like about the church that I am currently in, or that I've been with for a long time, because it's no judgment. They know this. And it's a beauty in it, because we have these conversations, and we have biblical conversations and all that. And the same conversations I have with you, I have with them. So when it comes down to being a spirit or your spiritual journey, a lot of times we can say it's this or it's this to us, and it's this and it's this, but everybody's on their own journey. It really this comes down to that. Some people may not believe in the Bible. They may not believe in the cross. I get where the cross came from. I get the Ankh, because I definitely love the Ankh more than the cross, because for me, the Ankh is the true symbol. So it's different for everybody. Everybody may be different on their journey right now. So I purposely respect and intentionally respect where you are. But when you are spiritual, you dive deeper within yourself, and you're not looking at a physical external thing for that. That is just a reminder, because we are the walking scriptures. We are the Bible that is still being written, like hands down. When it comes down to true spirituality and who you really are, it is what it is. And religion is just a shallow form of spirituality. It's almost like a shallow blueprint of what to follow. And I think some people, they really don't break it down like this, because, like, well, forget religion. No, religion is not bad. Having a belief system not bad. Being Buddhist is not bad. Being a Hindu, believing in this belief system, believing in ancient Kemet, believing in the African deities, those things are not evil. And I believe that there's a good side, or more, or it's a side that's more uplifting. Just like it's a dark side to every belief system. And when it comes down to belief system, period, we have to do our research, and we have to relearn what it actually is. And this is something that I'm still yet learning. Right. And actually, that's why they call alcohol spirits. That's why I don't drink wine. That's the reason why it's been 3 years. That's the reason why I stopped drinking, period. Even though it's this wine, I just had a little dark liquor. Because, you know, because alcohol literally are spirits. That's the reason why you act a certain way. See, if we're going to speak on spiritual warfare, we got to speak about first where you are in your spiritual journey. Secondly, about spirits and alcohol. They have spirits within them, and these spirits want to act out certain acts with you, and use you as, as his vessel. So some people don't think alcohol is our spirits, but they are spirits. So that's very much true. That's the reason why I purposely don't want to drink alcohol, because I feel as if I'm not myself. If I don't feel like myself, I'm not going to do that thing. That's with anything. This is me. But a spirit, it's a entity. It's something else that needs to take possession of you. I'm going to say that again. An entity is something that needs to take possession of something. That means it can't stand on its own. It's codependent. It's weak. So when it comes down to certain energy or certain things, you have to be able to openly know what it is. Just like, let's say, for example, Christianity. Oh, yes. Drink, smoke, medication, all these things, they take us out of our natural element. Even foods we eat. Foods that's low vibrational, it takes us out of our element. Certain foods, they have certain frequencies in it. Certain foods that's more alkaline. We walk more to our God body with food, with thoughts. Thoughts itself takes on whole personalities, emotions, all these different things. We really need to recognize all these different things. And when it comes down, I think that personally, like, I'm not the doctor. I'm not a spiritual guru. I'm not telling you what it is, what it isn't. I'm just another vessel. I'm just speaking about my journey. But if you want to do these things, that's fine. Whatever resonates with you, I'm not judging. I'm the least judgmental person you've ever met. I really am, because I recognize I'm not perfect. I do things, my thoughts are not what they need to be. I may not smoke, I may not drink, I may not do crazy things, but I do have my ways. I do things that's crazy at times. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking like, Shay, get yourself together. It's not crazy. It's not crazy, like, like white jacket crazy, but still, we all have our ways. So I'm not going to sit and judge you. Hey, do you? But all I'm saying is do what makes you happy. As long as you're not harming yourself or others, that's all I got to say about that. All right. This is a non-judgmental zone. I'm not going to judge you. Don't judge me. We good. You know what I mean? But if you see where correction needs to be done, where there needs to be correction, then correct me. Go ahead and tell me, hey, no, that wasn't right. You need to apologize. Or that tone you use. I'm open for criticism with, positive criticism. If you see something, speak on it. Challenge me. Go ahead. Because I'm not perfect. But when it comes to me just knowing who I am and tuning into that every day and actually looking for those challenges and allowing others to challenge me to be a better version of me, that's fine. And as a spiritual being, I'm on a spiritual journey just like we are. We can go into the deeper, ideologies and books and all these different external things. That's not really where God's leading me today. Because I promise you, we can be here for hours talking about it. However, I really need to get on the actual principalities that exist. Now, this may be an XXX for people that you may not be ready for this conversation. This is outside of what you've been told. It's outside of culture or religion. But true warfare starts within you. Let me say that again. True warfare, it starts within you. Some people think that it's some magical stuff in the sky and it's in an invisible world. No, true warfare starts within us. Since we are the living temples of God, we are the vessels of God. Now, some may not agree to that. That's okay if you don't. But however you may see God, the universe, whatever you may call that energy, it exists and it's real. And it's light and dark in every belief system. But it starts with us. If you want to speak about spiritual warfare, the devil that a lot of that's really described in Christianity is real. But it's not in the real that it's been described to us. The devil is like the darkest of energy that exists in us and all around us. We can be our own enemies. We can be the things that's causing chaos, killing, stealing, destroying our own well-being. As well as those same things around us or circumstances around us can change depending on how we see things. See, it's an internal enemy and it's external enemies. It's different. So I'm just saying, let's have this conversation. I don't know if my words are coming together, but we're going to get through this. So when it comes to real spirituality, it starts with us. It starts with recognizing that just like we have God in us, we have the devil in us, the ego, the things within us that causes us to be more on the darker side, that causes us to self-sabotage ourselves, relationships, and everything. Spiritual warfare begins first with us in our thought life. How we meditate, things we think on, because our thoughts create our reality. And so since it really starts with us, we have to do mental check-ins with ourselves every day. And far as the enemy outside of us, and demons are real, and the demons outside of us, outside of just us, being, the temple and as the spiritual beings that we are, or the multidimensional spiritual beings that we are, these particular beings can attach themselves to anybody. And I'm going to tell you how deep this thing goes. If you want to speak about spiritual warfare, don't you know that demons outside of us as humans can physically attach themselves to a thought. And that thought can manifest itself into our world. And we can create a world that that demon can live off of. And that's where we get the high vibration or the lower vibrational thinking or ways of living and doing. And we begin to look for outside things to try to calm these demons down, because that's what these demons want. That's what we self-medicate. That's what we cope with certain things, and we begin to drink and smoke, and we begin to draw into, or we begin to welcome in certain things that's not healthy for us. Now, this is one part of spiritual warfare. The other part of spiritual warfare is that the devil is real. It's a real entity out there, and I know some people don't like to hear it. It's a real entity out there that is physically looking to steal, kill, and destroy you and take your life. And I've seen it. When I was younger, my stepmother died. Now, both my mothers died, but this particular instance, my stepmother died. And I remember just having suicidal thoughts, want to kill myself. Now, I'm in the hospital after taking all these pills, and I'm just sitting there, and I heard a quiet, strong voice that sounded like a trumpet within me. I didn't know it was God at that point in time, but it's very much real. And I was dealing with a battle, and whew, I was dealing with a battle, and this strong, soft voice told me that it's not over yet. I have more for you to do. And, time and time again, I kept hearing this voice along my journey. Now, I've been taught that God speaks to you. The devil can speak to you too. But I knew this particular voice spoke life to me. That's how I knew it was God. And just like me wanting to take my life, there was a demon sent to end my life. And let's get real deep with it. When I was younger, my mother was my dad's side chick. And I know that my mother didn't want me. She didn't want me because my dad rejected her. And I have to say, she kept me. And she raised me, and my dad was still in my life and all these different things. But my mother went through stages where she didn't want me. Like, in thought. I'm sure she wanted, like, if she had another chance, she would have never had me. And at this point in time, I do believe that the enemy the external enemy have been trying to kill me for a great deal of my life. Through my mother, through her thoughts, through the things that's been happening in my life, through family members. And trust me, for a great deal of my life, I've struggled with depression. Because this is, it's a real thing for me. And so one of the things that I have used to fight this depression that would just come on me all of a sudden is reading God's word. And honestly, reading God's word have strengthened my faith in him even more. Even though I have this knowledge of this and this and this and this belief system, the root, is the tree only got one root. The root is God. And Jesus is connected to that for me. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I've learned, what I've accumulated over the years, but that really does it for me. Anytime I was in a rough place, that same soft, strong voice led me through the hardest times of my life, and still is there. So I can honestly say, whenever I'm going through the spiritual warfare of the enemy trying to take me out, the external enemy, And I know it sounds weird me saying that because see, people will look at an enemy as, oh, well, this particular thing it controls your whole life. And just like Sunbreeze was saying, your thoughts, you know what I mean? Your thoughts, your expressions, these external coping mechanisms that we hang on to for dear life, they they are a form of, I don't know how to say it, but they they do take on a life of themselves. That's the best way I can word it. And these particular emotions and thoughts, they could be viewed as demons. Because think about it. How else would a demon affect you? It's through your thoughts. And through thoughts, we develop habits. Since our thoughts create our reality in the world that we're going to live in our circumstances, they can penetrate our thoughts through experiences and things that happen to us. And that's the reason why I'm very careful on what I see, what I eat, what I hear, that's music, and what I say. And just through my senses, I'm very careful. I'm very careful on everything. And one of the things I've learned is that life is really a dream. And it is ironic as it seems, and I know this is a deep live, as ironic as it may seem, this life that we're living, it really is a dream. It really isn't real. It's a simulation at the end of the day. What's really real is when we go to sleep. All those dreams, all those visions, all those things you see in your head, when you go to sleep, that's your real world. And I think this is something that the Matrix was actually showing, that they were actually hooked up to machines in the real world. But the Matrix itself, or what you saw, was really from their thoughts. In this world that we live in, it really is a lot of simulation. The food is simulation. I mean, everything we do, what we see is simulation. Television isn't even real. It's based on how we make it, how we actually relate, how emotionally we attach ourselves to what's going on the screen. Nothing is real. I think at the end of the day, the real spiritual warfare, it really is in our minds. It really is these things that's going on. And even though there are external things and external deities and I'm gonna say entities that try to attach themselves to your life and try to destroy your life, that's very much real. I didn't think that the devil was real until I really began seeing God really give me a glow up in life. Like things start really working out. You know, I've literally been in a couple car accidents. And it's the craziest things. And my daughter's been in the car. And we walked out unscratched. It's so many things. I have so many testimonies where I walked away from things where I should have died. And I know that was not just by coincidence. Like, oh, this big old truck hit me on the right side and hit my daughter's door, and we are live and we hit a pole. You know, just make it make sense. So these deities, I'm saying the wrong terminology. These entities, or these dark entities, they're sent to bring chaos in your life. They're sent to try to penetrate your thoughts. And how they penetrate your thoughts is tricky. Okay? I'm hoping that I'm breaking this thing down or saying it in a way. I want to go down to the emotion. Let me go down to what he said because it was a lot. And I hope he's still on here. Let me see. I'm just going back where he said emotions. No. Okay, I'm gonna check this book out. You said something about a book called Self-Realization. Okay. Yeah. Really is one God. This goes by different names. Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. So he had mentioned, okay, got it. He mentioned that emotions are a spirit. And I can see, because the deeper I understand my how my spirit operates, that's how I'm able to see demons. Demons are not, you don't physically see them unless you are spiritually gifted to see them. But they come in form of people and circumstances and things that's happening. And these things would like latch on to your emotions, and these emotions will act itself out in different crazy ways. And you'll think it's your personality, you'll think it's you, but it's not you, it's a demon. Demons come in so many different forms. Thank you, Sunbreeze. I hope you're still on here. But demons come in so many different forms, and it's not what you think it is. A demon, and I can understand why all of a sudden my sound stopped working on the computer, because demons, they come in forms of many things. And that's why we have to be careful on what we buy at stores and things like that. Did you know that, and this is something that may scare some people, but fear is not something I want to bring it, like really give you. Did you know that when you buy a mirror, it's a thing that's called mirror magic? Some people, and see, you don't understand it because you probably passed 1,000 mirrors in your life, right? Go in the bathroom, you know, your phone is a mirror. You look in the mirror, just for this. And, you take selfies with a mirror. You buy a phone, a camera. Did you know that mirrors are portals? Why do you think all of a sudden with technology, everything has a camera? Look, a demon can have direct access to you through a mirror. And that's the reason why when I get a new phone, or let's say I'm in the bathroom, I always have a protective crystal on me, because it protects you. It really does. Or I will always, I'll have a white candle, or I'll burn a black candle, or I always have something as a form of protection on me physically, because mirrors is, or a mirror is a way that an external demon can actually try to latch on to you. Have you ever looked in the mirror for a long time and you saw other things? Because it's other worlds that exist, and a mirror is a true portal. So mirrors, it's physical. And see, the devil is funny, and not in a comedic way, or a way to be a comedian. Excuse me. The devil has a way of making something look this way, then this way. Even with social media, is a whole nother way. See, you have to know how to use social media. I use social media for one, entertainment, and to spread truth. And the third one is to make money. That's the way that I draw in all my clients. I used to use social media, just posting stuff, or doing this, or how I feel. But think about it for a second. Why? Since the devil is the prince of the air is everywhere. You may not be aware of it. So you really don't know how he's camouflaged himself. The enemy is the prince of camouflaging. He can camouflage himself in a beauty product, or a business, a friendship, you know, everyday things, even a phone, you know. And with spiritual warfare, it's not what you think it is. Like we don't fight against flesh and blood. We fight against spiritual principalities. And some of us are so gifted spiritually. The enemy has worked so hard to use religion to make you fear the very gift that you have naturally because you haven't spent time to nurture it. No one else have told you, hey, this thing is not evil. Hey, this particular gift that you have, or this, you've been able to sense this or that, it's a real thing. And that's like I mentioned with the story with my friend Wendy and her grandmother. I just heard an old white woman's voice. I know she sounded real old. And when she told me her grandmother's age, her grandmother was over 60. You think that's freaky? I never told her like, oh, well, your grandmother talked to me. No, I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad you feel better. Now, I can say it was one point in time in my spiritual journey where I was like that, and I didn't do that. But I'm going back to the subject because I don't want to go on a whole rant about that. I come back to that. But the enemy is tricky. So if you are going through let's say any perceived negativity in your life, first look at your thoughts. Look at your meditation life. Look at what you eat. Food can cause certain things to happen in your life too. Music. What type of music you listen to? Like, who's your favorite artist? What type of vibration are they speaking off of? Yeah, it's their experiences, but that's dangerous too. Listen to only high vibe music. I believe 528 or 428. You have to look at the different frequencies and what they represent. What do you want to bring in your life? Once you change music, TV shows. Oh, that's another one. So what TV shows are you watching? And see, since the devil is the prince of the air, he can speak to you through shows. He can bring in certain ideas through shows or what you watch, what you're saying. Think about it. Think about what people watch. And then they begin acting like the people. Who do you think is influencing them? Right. So when you look at these different things that's going on in the world today, you have to think like, who is really behind this? Why is this? Oh, or this. Look at divorces. This is an obvious one. Look at divorces. The rate is high, right? Why? Is it because people just fell out of love, or is it because the enemy found a way to separate people? Maybe some people weren't supposed to be together. You know what I mean? Maybe that's the case. But I'm sure that's not the case for everybody that's actually been divorced or actually is going through a divorce. Because the enemy don't like seeing people literally kingdom-minded. And kingdom-minded, it's not just cookie cutter, I'm going to church every day, reading the Bible every day. Kingdom-minded is being God-minded. And to be God-minded, that means on every frequency, every aspect of your life, you are the living word. And I think that's hard to grasp. It's like we're so fascinated on reading a book or reading the word when we are the living word. See, I express it like this. When you read a book, you gain what? Knowledge. The knowledge turns to wisdom through your experiences, right? So you are the living and breathing word of God. And we are. So since we are the living, breathing word of God, the enemy is going to try to destroy the word of God that we are. We are walking temples of God. And I think some people don't understand how to break that thing down. I'm not trying to come off super spiritual, but it is what it is. We are the walking scriptures that God is writing every day. And as we begin to go on our life journey, we're going to have ups and downs. We're going to have certain polarities. We're going to have hot and cold. We're going to go through certain things. But one of the ways to really cope with it is to go within. Know what's really going on within you. Be so aware and let your discernment be so on point where you can feel if it's something off with you. Like, hold on now, I'm feeling this way. And you will find that so many things that's going on in our lives as far as spiritual warfare or things is controlled by some level of principality in our lives. It is. Because think about it. Sadness, depression, stress, anxiety. What spirit do this come from? And it manifests itself in other ways, and we find ways to cope with it. So once you become more aware, once we become more aware, because I'm becoming more aware of myself every day. Once we become more aware of what that really is and what's really going on within us and how we allow our emotions to manipulate us and cause us to act out of character, how we allow other entities to latch on to our thoughts and go into our memory banks and change the dynamic of our lives. The second way to cope with spiritual warfare, once we went within, we're aware, is to use your discernment. Trust that intuition within you. Trust it. And don't allow the words to mix you up if you're not used to intuition or energy, whatnot. Don't allow those words to mix you up like, oh, she's talking about something different. But you have to trust it. It's in us for a reason. When you actually begin to know thyself and be tuned in, you will know. You will know something's off. Have you ever talked to someone and you can just see things on them or feel something? Hey, this is odd. That person's odd. And it's not a physical thing. Sometimes it's just something you sense. You have to use your discernment. And as we grow into our discernment, we grow into the knowledge of God, into the knowledge of everything that is. The enemy hides in plain sight. I'm going to say that again. The enemy hides in plain sight. Things we don't recognize as the enemy. It is. When we look at movies, when we look at how technology is, when we look at how the school system is, when we look at how poisonous the food is, look at our water. We look at how when you're focusing, you're meditating, you're actually in a headspace of seeing things for what they really are. Merrily, merrily, merrily. Life is just a dream. What if this life we're living is just a simulation of what we want it to be? And we can manifest whatever life we want to. Life really is just a dream. And it's a scary thing to think that this life I'm living isn't even real. It's a simulation for a life that, hey, I can be living something else. I can be doing something else. The third point, the third way to cope with this is to seek guidance. Don't you know it's angels? And angels are light beings. Demons are dark beings. Just like angels are positive thoughts, demons are dark thoughts. Make sense? Does it make sense now? As above, as below, as above. You get what I'm trying to say. So it all corresponds. That's how we keep the angels in our lives, by having positive thoughts. And there are actually deities where they are angels. They're waiting to protect us. It's been points of time we've been protected from things and we don't even understand. Think about it for a moment. How did you survive certain things? It's because angels are just waiting. And angels aren't just these spiritual beings where no one can see, where only someone with a spiritual eye can see. Angels can come in the form of people, friends, children. Angels give messages all the time. This could be a message. This could be a verification for you that you are in the right place. Have you ever just been lost somewhere and all of a sudden a complete stranger helps you to may help you in the right direction? Or have you ever just or had a flat tire, all of a sudden somebody wants to help you? These are angels. See, just like, and I'm breaking this thing down. I'm feeling chills as I speak about this. Ooh, do y'all feel that? I feel that. Ooh, hold on. Like my arm just got bumpy all of a sudden when I said it. Oof. Okay, God, speak. When it comes to entities or deities, just like the devil is a dark entity, I'm going to say the angels are light entities. Maybe I'm not saying the right word, but you get what I'm saying. Angels are the light entities. They're waiting for us. They're waiting to protect us. They can be in the form of friends, people we've known our entire lives. What if some of these people that you love, relationships, people that you are in a relationship with, what if they are angels sent to protect your life? But they are in the form of that, like they have to come in human form. Just like with a demon have to attach itself to something because it's codependent. It can't do things by itself because it's a spirit. It's a dark spirit. There's like angels are light spirits. Okay. So with angels being light spirits, they have to attach to someone. And that's what we will actually begin manifest certain things. But when we look at angels, angels are waiting to protect us. I'm getting chills all over my body, y'all. This is getting freaky. Ooh, a minute. Ooh. Do y'all feel that? Let me just pause for a second. Do y'all feel that? Let's give me a moment. I can feel that. Like it was verification, like my body has agreed to it or something. But angels are looking for humans. Or God, angels are looking for us to be their vehicles, to speak life, to speak joy, to speak peace into the world. And have you ever been, just say, a content creator where I'm just speaking this to be practical. Have you ever seen or just listened to a content creator that all they speak about is love and light, but they go through the worst situations, or they may be attacked by another content creator trying to talk down on their name? That's spiritual warfare, because that angel in them is irritating the demon in them. I know you heard it. Like your light in you, the light in you irritates the devil or the demon in others, or same thing, vice versa. So, whew, I feel chills. I don't know, y'all. Do y'all feel chills? Jeez. Whew. Let me just. I feel it. Like seriously, my arm as I'm speaking. Ooh. And angels will possess us as well. And some people don't understand. Ooh, something. Shoot. Like when I said that My whole body just. And angels, I feel that. Like I'm like, hold on, what is going on here? But angels can possess people too. That's the reason why you see out now you see on like TikTok and all these content creators like myself that speak in love and light. And you may get every now and then a content creator or someone, it can be a family member, it can be anybody speaking dirt on their name. That's an angel speaking through people. Now, and this is how you know it's an angel versus a demon. Angels don't speak darkness. Angels don't. An angel is not going to come and confuse you. It's going to come. An angel is going to come and literally speak love and light into your life. They're going to challenge you to be a better person, and they're going to bring light in every area. But a demon is going to come and diminish that, to darken your personality, darken your life, to bring chaos into your life. The devil comes to kill, steal, and what? Destroy it. So when it comes to, I received that sunbreeze. I felt it. All right, Dan. I keep speaking. All right. I really feel chills, y'all. I'm not joking. And the thing is, when it comes to angels, angels will possess us. And sometimes when we're going through situations, and I even believe this, I don't believe an angel is going to, just say that's like when I was in a car accident. Literally a truck hit. I forgot. I had a 2001 Mazda CX-7. It was a family car I came down here in Memphis with. It literally hit the right side of my daughter's door. When I was driving, my mind went dark for a second. When I say dark, like I saw nothing. I felt nothing. But then I felt the urge where I had to drive. It's like I got this supernatural power to drive way to the left. If I would have never driven to the left, we would have been dead. I believe there was an angel that entered my body. And sometimes angels will jump into us at the times where we need the most. So when we're dealing with spiritual warfare, we need to understand angels exist just as much as demons do. And it's points of times where angel will jump inside of you and have you say this to this person. Or have you ever just been in a grocery store and somebody behind you, you said, hey, and they said, hey, and they said something what you needed to hear? Don't find it a coincidence. Y'all, I feel it's chills, y'all. I wish y'all come to my arm. See, that was an angel you were talking to. And even in the Bible, it speaks on, we don't know whether or not we entertain an angel or not. That's why you have to treat people right. Right. And so we can be used by dark forces as well. So that's why it's so important to know God. That's why it's important to be just plugged into that source, because if we're not, give me a sec. Let me check my, okay. 22. Look. Now, if anyone is to numerology, 22 just popped up. So just check it out. But angels are real. Just like the devil is real. Just like demons are real. And I know some people may like, well, I don't believe in all that. They believe in you. And believe it or not, we have angels and demons assigned to our lives. And they manifest themselves in different ways. I know that's about my entire life. I've had angels that still follows me to this very day, that I feel right now. I feel it. They're protecting me. They're protecting this household. And we've been protected for so many things, as well as demons, And so when it comes to, I got you. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna how to come back in the chat. But we have to really get what real spiritual warfare is, because yeah, it'd be easy for me to open a Bible, crack it open, and just read some words. these words may mean nothing to you. But to physically experience these things, just like I mentioned, in a grocery store, somebody saying the right words to you, the things you've been praying about, the things you've been dealing with, someone that's put money in your hand. That was not a coincidence. That was God. And when we're looking for God, well, we're not looking for God in plain sight. Just like the enemy hides in plain sight, God hides in plain sight. God can be right in front of your face. God can be a hug, that hug that you needed. Sometimes God don't give us physical things. Sometimes God gives us the emotional things that we need. And fear. Fear in itself is a whole demon. Anxiety, stress, you know what I mean? Lust. All these things are demons. That's why they're called sins. And when you look at a sin, what's been called a sin according to the Holy Bible? Sin is anything that can shorten our lives. Think about it. If you actually read the Bible and everything that they call a sin, it shortens our lives. That's it. And what we've done, we pervert the natural things and they shorten our lives. They kill us in some type of way. They kill our spirits. So we see sin in this way because it's been taught this way. But what if God gave us the idea of sin to educate us about, or to make us educate ourselves, that it's certain things in this world that's not meant to be a certain way. Certain things kill, steal, and destroy our joy, our peace, our physical bodies, our mental capacity. Where do you think we get diseases and disorders and all these different things? It's from our foods. It's from our water source. It's from our codependency on money. All that. All these things connect. If you want to talk about spiritual warfare, look at our economy. Look at who's over our money. Look at how our money is spent. All these different things. It's just the aftermath of spiritual warfare. The pandemic, monkeypox. What else next? So when it comes to real warfare, I can speak on just one subject. Okay. Y'all, no lie, I don't want to feel chills. Like, it's gone. So just know that real spiritual warfare exists. It's dark forces that's sent to you in the form of people, fake friends, jobs, neighbors, everything. Don't you know that the enemy can even influence your children to act out and do crazy stuff? I'm telling you, it's so this life we're living is about submitting to God. That's what this whole life is about. We need to submit our lives to God right now. And not just in a way, hey, you have to open this Bible. No. Submit to a higher existence outside of yourself. Know that it's someone right now watching you that loves you. And that there are angels that's sent to give you messages. And maybe this is one of them. To let you know that you are worthy, to be alive and well, and you're thought of and you're cared for. We're all angels. We can all be used for the dark forces as well. So when it comes down to accepting God, it is not just one way. Just accept God. However God may seem to you. But God wants to protect us. God wants to love us. It's 11:11 actually. Hey, could y'all write this down in chat? Because I'm looking at these numerology, these numbers, because they correspond. 11:11. Okay. So all I'm saying is spiritual warfare is real. We have to first know who we are, tune in. We have to get that. Okay, it's 9:11. Well, that's the number two. Hey, writing this down. It's 11:11 here. So I hope that someone said. I'm gonna shut my big old mouth up for a moment. And, if you have any questions, I'm going to just give this 10, maybe 10 minutes. Just seeing what questions y'all have. And strive to answer the best way God gives it to me. The chills are back. I know I'm out this window and all that, but they ain't got nothing to do with that. It's a whole nother chill. So, you have any questions? And I go back and any unanswered comments. Let me see if it pops up. But yeah, so let's go ahead and ask your question in the comments. Let me know. I want to go ahead and get this stuff right here situated. I hope that someone see it today. And I know this has been a long live, so come back and watch it. Okay. Hold on. I did see where. Hold on. Shoot. No. I'm trying to go to it. There you go. She said that's true. They can alter what you see in a mirror and make you see what you want them to see. Yeah, you spoke on mirror manipulation. Yeah. So, minute. Go ahead and have your glass of wine, girl, if you want to. I'm just going back to the comments. Emotions are spirits. I like that. I'm taking it with me. I'm not saying anything I may have missed. Because I definitely want to go back into what somebody was saying. Now, this book, Self-Realization, I'm going to check that out. And then writing this down. Anyways, thank y'all so much for tuning in. And I know it's late and it's Sunday night, but still, this was a well-needed subject. And I love y'all. Know that God loves you. Accept God in whatever form you want to accept God. No judgment over here. But just know that God cares and his angels is waiting to be there for you in whatever literature you read, whatever Bible you read. It's truth. If it's truth to you. Now, I'm a vivid reader of the Bible. And I found that a lot of those stories, I'm in it. So I'm like, okay, God, I didn't see that. So I find that the Holy Scriptures are very, very encouraging for me. And they really encourage me on my journey. As well as I can say, I don't know what it's called. It's a book, but it's another book, but it's like a different school of thought. I can't remember what it was, but if it comes to my mind, I'm definitely putting in the community chat. But just know that it's other books that I resonate with. And it's like not the whole thing. And it's okay if I do, but I'm just saying certain things resonate with me, certain things don't. And I'm open to God. And I'm going to say this and be done with this live because I think it was something that I forgot to say. I should have said. Is that we have to be aware of any level of manipulation and trickery, because the dark forces, like I said, they don't appear to be a certain way, but you have to be discerning enough. And so when you accept God in your life and you know who God is, it's almost like having that charger for your phone or laptop. It's like once you're, or this say instead of putting a stitcher cord in the wall, you put the ZAC charger. That's us. Like we need to be charging something that's going to charge us and it's going to give us unlimited information. God is omnipresent. So God is everywhere. God sees everything. God knows everything what's going to happen. So a lot of times when it comes down to events in life, God already knew what's going to happen. But God is going to send us the help that we need through angels, through our spiritual team. God is going to make sure that we know what we need to be. God can tell us, hey, don't go out today. Hey, don't make that phone call. It's a reason why those things are there to protect us. But that's it. Just be aware of that. And just know that God loves you. God loves you. God loves us. And we have protection. That's why some people, they would actually go to stones and crystals. No, those are actually in the Bible. And they would actually go and protect themselves because it's different forms of protection in all these different realms in this one. But anyways, I don't want to rant. I love you. And y'all have a good night. I hope that you got something out of this. If you do have an idea for a topic, please write it in the community chat. Okay, please. Because I meditated on it. I'm like, is this something you want me to speak on, God? And most definitely. I do plan on doing a hair video really soon. Maybe not live. I don't know. Maybe I need to do a live video. But today I took down a braid out. Excuse the edge time. I'm going to have to shampoo my hair because I have that, but it's just up today. But anyways, my hair is growing. It's getting thick, and I'm going to definitely go. I'm definitely going to do more videos about my skin regimen and my weight loss journey and me exercising and all that. But I love y'all. Thanks. And I thank you for any new subscribers. You are my family. And if I don't get back with you as soon as possible, just know I have two daughters. They're 10 and 11, and they take up a great deal of my time. So I love you. Thank y'all for your support. Anyways, I'm not getting anything else, but y'all have a good night. Thank you for sticking through. Thank you, Urban, for coming through, and anybody else that I may have missed. But I love y'all. Y'all have a good night. Excuse my shirt, y'all. All right. Till next time. Shades heart to heart.